Ta-da! Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. Appreciate you joining us here. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. And we thank God for each and every one of you that have decided to join us here on the broadcast today. Remember to follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. We are there in all social platforms, YouTube, you name it, Facebook, Instagram, we're there. So check us out right there. And please, when you go to the YouTube page, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell. Yeah, hit that bell and make sure to subscribe to the Real Talk Sports Show because we appreciate each and every one of you to do it. We also want to give a big shout out to those of you who are watching on the replay. Appreciate you, those of you who watch us on demand. Remember, we are always looking for great sports stories. So if you have a great sports story, here's how you do it. Hit me up, jsimmons at realtalksports.net, or you can simply text me at 678 410 9833. Now, we'll do a little housekeeping. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're starting to get some else spamalicious emails. I guess that's the nature of the beast. Please, do not text me. Do not call me unless you have like an urgent situation, or like I said, specifically, if you're trying to talk to us about getting on the air, about bringing a good story out. Um, that's my cell phone. So I'm going to say, please, ma'am, please, sir, don't spam me with a lot of junk. Okay. Because most likely I will not be replying to you at all. This number is designed if you got a great sports story, or like I said again, if you want to get in contact with us to tell us something good about what's going on in the world of sports. That's the way to do it. jsimmons at realtalksports.net, or hit me up on this cell for serious inquiries only. 678 410 9833. All right, guys, once again, as you would expect, another big weekend in the world of sports. And you saw my headline. It's old news about the Bravos losing. There is a narrative right now about Mr. Ronald Acuna. Um, everybody was saying Acuna should have stayed in the locker room and he should have, taken and fielded questions from the reporters. He did not. He opted to leave out. So I'm going to ask that question right now on social media. Is the Braves, Ronald Acuna, a bad sport for leaving the locker room and refusing to take any questions, after the game? Everybody talks about, hey, win or lose, you got to man up and um, you know, and basically take the good with the bad. I mean, you're in the locker room. When things are going good, you're knocking a bunch of homers, you're stealing bases, you are a MVP candidate. But Ronald Acuna said, "I had enough," and he had a series. Um, terrible series. I mean, I think he was 3 for 14 for the series, batting somewhere around 111. And this is a guy who was definitely, a guy who was a MVP candidate. He still is the MVP candidate. He's going to win the MVP because that's based on the regular season, not on postseason. So, so I'm gonna put it on here on social media. Is he a bad sport for not talking to the press after the loss to to the Phillies? I want to know what you guys think. Please put your comments in on social media so we can read them on the air. Love to have you be a participant on our show because that's what makes the show go, is when you guys participate with us as well. So again, we're gonna pop that question up here for you. Was Ronald Acuna bad sport for not talking to the press after a loss to the Phillies? I'm popping up right here now. There are these questions on the screens, also on social media. Bam. See, a bad sport for not talking to the media. What would you have done if that was you? Would you have went ahead and spoken to the media, or would you have done what he done and made the mad dash out of there and said, "See you, wouldn't want to be you. I'm gone." So that's our big question. Ronald Acuna, is he a bad sport? Yay or nay? Hit us up right now on social media with your comments. I'm trying to get my microphone from moving around. It's kind of doing its own thing tonight. As always, though, we have a big show, man. I don't know, man. Like the Ghost in the Machine, everything starts going on. But again, like I said, again, we appreciate those of you who have checked us out. There's our question. Our first question for the day is out there. ladies and gentlemen. What is the story? Do you believe Mr. Acuna is a bad sport for not talking to the press after the loss to the Phillies in that series-ending loss? What do you say? Yeah or nay? Is he, should he have done it? Should he have hung around? Should he talk to the press? What would you have done? And I guess the biggest question is he a bad sport for doing it, not doing it? It's like this, man. Nobody really wants to talk to. I can tell you from being in the press corps, at the end of the day, one of the things I really kind of never really get that excited about is talking to any player after a loss, especially a loss that you should have won. Like I would have not had any fun in the Falcons locker room at all. Let's go here. Let's go to social media here. There is the response there from Jay. I guess it's Jay Walcott one. He said, absolutely not. Not a bad sport. So I guess you're saying you'd have been gone too. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think that what happens is that when we have these things that go on, when we have these losses, I think that all of us in the press really don't know what to say. So we have to find the infamous, as our head coach from the Falcons says, a narrative. We have to have talking points that we can, talk about. And that's one of the talking points. The Braves have lost, so now the situation is, hey, is Acuna a bad guy? You know, I don't know, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, like the Braves, I don't want to use the word choke, but there's no question that the Braves, I don't know what they did on what they drank during that, 4 or 5 days they were off, but they were terrible. And if you look at the Phillies, see, this is why I said during the whole season. Remember, I kept saying, guys, on the show, I said, hey, you know what? My feeling was if the Braves did not find a way to World Series, all of this stuff they were doing was for naught. I'm not taking away from the monster season that guys like Acuna had. I mean, he had a huge season this year. You're talking a guy that hit over 40 homers, stole 70 bases. That may not never be again in our lifetime. Plus, he led the league in hits. Plus, he batted 335. I think he led the league in runs scored with about 146 runs scored. So I don't want to take away from that. I want to take away from Matt Olson saying the all-time Braves record, 54 home runs, 139 runs batted in. I don't want to take away from that. I don't want to take away from Spencer Strider, his strikeouts this year. I don't want to take away from the fact that the Braves, I think the first or second team to have 8 guys hit 20 homers or more, that 4 guys hit over 30 homers. I don't want to take away from that, but it's like I said, that all really is for naught if you don't win the World Series. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, you won 104 games. This team was as good on the road as they were good at home. They were 54 and 29 at home, and they were 54 and 29 at on the road. So you're thinking, no matter who they play, that would be it. But there was a bad vibe. I'll be honest with you, it was a bad vibe right off the rip. All the sports pundits were talking about, oh, Braves fans don't want to play the Phillies. As soon as I heard that, I said we're in trouble. Because when you have the best record in the league, when you are being compared with the 27 Yankees, Murderers Row, I'm not scared of anybody. Bring on all comers. I don't care if they knocked you out of the playoffs last year. As a matter of fact, what I don't understand is why Braves fans and Braves players want saying it's time for some get back. Y'all got us out of the playoffs last year. We about to return the favor this year. But we had none of that. All we had, hope we don't have to play the Phillies. They're hot. And evidently they are because they beat the brakes off the Diamondbacks in game 1 as well. So they are red hot. Let's go to social media. Again, Todd is saying none of that means a can of beans, preacher. All loss if you don't win at all. That's what I was saying. I mean, look, baseball is a sport of records. And it's a sport that, maintains these types of records and record keeping for a long period of time. So what they've done, cannot be taken away from them. I mean, that's it. I mean, what these guys done, they had an epic season, but the season has got a bad, bad taste to it. It's almost like let me give you an example of why this kind of doesn't feel so good. So if you look here, I'm gonna go here to MLB records. I'm gonna look at the most wins in a regular season in MLB. Look this up here. That's why I'm kind of not looking at the camera right now. MLB season. Okay. So now let's take a look. Take a look at this. The team that won. Now they went way back to 1906 Chicago Cubs, but I mean that's a little bit too far for me. Let's see if I can get something that has a little bit, give me some of the top all-time greats. And this is the team that to me is one of the most disappointing teams of all time. The 2001 Seattle Mariners won 114 games during the regular season. I think they won 2 playoff games, 116 wins, and they did not win the World Series. Okay. You look at the 2022 Dodgers, they won 111 games. That was last year. They didn't win either. Now, you look at the 1954 Cleveland Indians. Well, they won 111 games, and that's where they were only playing 154 games. So they won 11, I think, in 43, and they did not win the World Series. So a lot of teams, as much as we want to bash the Braves, a lot of teams have done this. A lot of teams have posted up ginormous amounts of wins, and they did nothing. They got ugats. I tell you, a team I grew up with as a kid, um, a team that won a ton of games was the 1969 Baltimore Orioles. It's ironic because in that same year, the New York Jets put another juggernaut team from Baltimore, the Baltimore Colts. Well, the Baltimore Orioles, dominant team, won 105 games, I think, 104 games during the regular season, something like that. They ended up losing to the Mets, to New York Mets, who won 100 games themselves. They won. They lost the World Series 4-1, but they got to the World Series. The Braves and the Mariners didn't even get to the World Series after winning all these games. Again, the Mariners go down in history as the team with the most number of wins in Major League history, 116 wins during a season, and they did not even go to the World Series. So I'm saying all that stuff is for naught, boys and girls. I don't care what you do, you've got to win ball games. All right, let's get off that for a second here. Hawks are back in season, boys and girls. The Hawks are back. The Hawks are right now, currently, as of the last game I saw them in, they are undefeated in the preseason. Now, of course, a lot of people are saying, what the heck? What does that have to do with anything in the preseason? I get you. But at the end of the day, it's great to see that this team is at least getting on a winning plane. They are understanding that, to me at least, it's very important to get the momentum of winning. Just saying, you want to get that edge. You want to get used to the idea of you winning ball games. And to me, that's very important. I know a lot of people say they don't care about that. They're trying to set things up. And I think I can get a comment from the coach who basically said the same thing. He said, hey, he wants to make sure the team is executing. He wants to make sure the team is gelling. I get all that. But I also think it's very, very important for you to get into winning habits. And right now, the Hawks are 4-0. They look outstanding. They look like they don't miss John Collins at all. Jalen Johnson looks like he's ready to take the next step. They're playing him a lot at the 3, and he and Okongwu have a real good rapport so far in the preseason. They looked very, very sharp. Like I said, in the preseason games I've seen so far, and it was really cool. They actually came down and played where the G League team plays. They actually played right here in College Park, which is pretty cool to see the Hawks play in this kind of small stadium here. Only seats about a little bit less than 4,000 people, but great to see the Hawks come out there and give the fans, a close-up look. Because a lot of times when you go to the games, obviously, if you're like most people, you can't afford them big money seats. So you have to go to what we call a cheap seats. And it's nice to see that the Hawks come into an arena where really there's no bad seat in the house because you only see about 4,000 people. Let's take a peek here and see if I can get a few little comments from our head coach, Quinn Snyder, as he talks about the team's performance. And we'll have that for you in just a second. And while we are waiting for that, let's see what else we can kind of show you right here while we're waiting. It's about to spool up here. It's taking its own sweet little time. You know how that works. But yeah, at the end of the day, Hawks are looking good so far, and hopefully they can continue to do it. Now, listen, I need you guys to stay tuned, especially you Falcons fans, because we are going with the week number 2 of Falcons Flashback, where we bring on former Falcons players. And we wanted to start kind of not from the very beginning, because a lot of those guys are not here with us anymore. But we wanted to kind of give you a flavor and understand that the Falcons at times have had other great teams and teams from the 70s and 80s. So if you missed it on Saturday, we had one of the great linebackers from the late 70s, early 80s. Matter of fact, statistically, the 1977 Falcons are considered the greatest defensive team in the history of the NFL. No joke. 1977 Falcons. And that team later went to the playoffs in 1978 and went back to the playoffs in 1980. They were actually the number 1 seed. And we'll talk to our good friend William Andrews, who's in the Falcons Hall of Fame, and talk to him about that. And before we do that, like you said, go to a break. We'll let you guys hear a little bit from head coach Quinn Snyder. Remember, our show is brought to you by our title sponsor for high school football, Allen Vigil Ford and Lincoln, located at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the city of Morrow, Georgia. So before we go to the break, I want you guys to hear a little bit from the Hawks head coach Quinn Snyder as he talks about the Hawks' progress in the preseason. So here we go as it spools up. It's coming right now. And it's stinking. All right, like I said, while we're waiting for that, let's go here and get a little musical interlude while we're waiting.
You got everybody in by the end, but a little bit shorter rotation today in general, and also kept the guys in a little bit longer. Trey, DJ started the second half, which is just experience for them to kind of do that once, at least this preseason.
Yeah, I think, you head into it kind of thinking what you're going to try to do, and both those guys, wanted to keep playing. I didn't feel like we wanted to play too much more, but as you mentioned, I think chance to start the third quarter, and I was happy with the way we started the quarter and the way we played, and then I just felt like it was time, get them out and get some other guys in, and it was good to see. But to your point, yes, it's as we get further in the preseason, you build up, closer to what you're going to see, when you start, playing games for real. And it's always good to have a balance of, being comfortable with how you're going to play, and then also having a chance to see some things as well.
And just wanted to ask you about coming out here and playing in College Park. What was it like for the guys and for you as well?
So a little bit of coach, you was talking about the fact that Trey and DeJounte really wanted to play more minutes. And I got to tell you, Trey looked like he was in midseason form. Right before they took him out, he came down and dished a dime, a no-look pass that was just filthy. And it just looks like the team is ready to go. Hopefully, this energy will spill in to the regular season, which is coming up in just another week. Well, speaking of coming up, we got to take a little quick commercial break, but keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. We got some more great stuff to talk about in just a minute. Don't you go nowhere. I'm just saying, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
What's up? What's up? We're back here with the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. Remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. Please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. Hit the bell and make sure you do that, because it'll let you know when we have more sports on the air. Now, high school football continues to roll on. As you guys know, we cover high school football each and every week down at Tara Stadium. It's actually called now it's actually called Hines Ward Stadium, Hines Ward Field at historic Tara Stadium, named after Hines Ward, who was, a lot of people don't know, was a star at Forest Park High School in Clayton County. Of course, later went on to play for the Georgia Bulldogs, and then played many years with the Pittsburgh Steelers and won as Super Bowl MVP in the year that Pittsburgh knocked off Seattle and won the title for Jerome Bettis in his hometown of Detroit. So we do the broadcast there, and Allen Vigil Ford is the title sponsor. He's also my employer. How cool is that? So yeah, so you guys get a chance, please check us out every Friday night. Allen Vigil Ford, like I said, is our title sponsor, and they're located at 6790 Mount Zion Boulevard in the city of Marl, Georgia. And remember, guys, you also can, if you need a vehicle, check me out. You can hit me up. I mean, I'm your guy. I'm your Huckleberry. I'll take care of you and make sure that you get a great deal for yourself or your family. Again, if you'd like to contact me, there's a number 678-410-9833. Again, serious inquiries only, because for some reason I've been getting spammed like no tomorrow. So I'm just saying. All right. So high school football is in full swing as teams now move from their regular season. I don't say in the postseason, but into their regional play, which will determine their seeding in postseason play. Multiple teams that we cover have great opportunities to do so. We actually did something a little bit different over the weekend because Clayton County had a bye. We went up to DeKalb County and had a great game that we actually live stream broadcasted. It was a game, Stevenson Jaguars with 5 wins against the Miller Grove Panthers, also had 5 wins. And the game was a back and forth offensive struggle right from the opening bell. By the time I got there and got fully set up, both teams had scored already. It was 13-7, kind of midway into the first quarter. It was incredible. I mean, they were going at it left and right. Both teams are making big plays, but finally it was Stevenson. The Jaguars got it to another level, man. I mean, they were just spectacular as they scored 49 points. Final score 49-24. Stevenson knocks off Miller Grove, who was having an outstanding season. And so now Stevenson puts themselves in a rare position of being 6-1 and being now one of the dominant teams in all of DeKalb County. So big shout out to them. As a matter of fact, we got a chance to interview a young man who was the star of that game. He had 4 touchdowns, not 1, not 2, but 4 touchdowns. And we'll just let you listen to this young man right now as he talked to us after the game. Stevenson knocking off the Miller Grove Panthers 49-24. And here was the star of the game, number 4 from the Stevenson Jaguars. Here he is.
All right, guys, we're on the field here. High school football game of the week brought to you by Real Talk Sports and Allen Vigil Ford. We got a young man that was doing it up big tonight. Number 4, he's going to introduce himself to you right now.
My name is Devin Ingram, number 4 from Stevenson High School, and I'm a senior.
Now, what was the key for you guys tonight? Big win over Miller Grove.
The key was just run the ball hard. You know, we seen what we liked, so we took it.
Listen, man, you guys had a great game today. Now, what's you guys now 6-2 or 6-1?
We are 6-2.
Well, man, you're doing great things, and you head out to the next region game. How can people follow you on social media?
You can follow my Instagram at _4dev and Twitter at Devin Ingram 24.
All right, guys, number 4 in the building. He had about 5 touchdowns tonight for the Jaguars of Stevenson. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That young man was balling out. I actually gave him an extra touchdown. He really actually had 4 touchdowns. His father saw me in the parking lot after doing the interview. He said, "Sir, were you the gentleman that interviewed my son?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, they actually have 4 touchdowns in the game." But he was dynamic. The whole team was incredible. Defense played very, very well. Had a couple, I think 3 interceptions total in that game. So again, if you guys are in the DeKalb County area, check out the Stevenson Jaguars as they have one of their best seasons so far in their history. 6-2, roll into a big game against Holy Innocents, one of the top teams in the state. So that's going to be a big one there. It's going to also determine some regional seating. Now, another big game that went on was a game that actually was nationally televised. For those of you who are not from the Georgia area, the Wolves of Buford High School are one of the dominant teams in the state of Georgia. They have been for several years. Once again, they are, up to this point, one of the top 3 teams in the state. Now, this game was so big, the game last week, because they, as the number 1 team in the state, were playing the number 2 team in the state, Mill Creek High School. Now, the interesting thing about Buford is that Buford over the years have had guys transfer into their school literally from all over the country. And this year is not different. A young man who is considered to be certainly the number 1 quarterback prospect, but might be the number 1 overall prospect for high school football recruiting, Dylan Raiola. Now, we had a chance to actually interview Dylan at a luncheon by the Atlanta Touchdown Club because he just had been awarded the back of the week for the best offensive player in high school football for Georgia. So we're going to go and let you take a listen to him. And we did this interview actually before they played Mill Creek High School, which, instantly enough, Mill Creek pulled off the upset. They went on the road to Buford and knocked them off in that ball game. But let's listen to the number one high school prospect in the nation, Dylan Raiola, quarterback from the Buford Wolves.
Hey guys, we're at the Atlanta Touchdown Club, and you know they have some of the best athletes in the nation. This young man's going to introduce himself to you right now.
Sir, Dylan Raiola, quarterback at Buford High School.
Dylan, it's got to be very exciting for you. A lot of legendary quarterbacks have won this award. Guys like Cam Newton. What does it mean for you to win this award?
It means a lot, but I couldn't do it without my team. Everybody putting in that work that everybody doesn't see. So it's special, but there's a lot more people than just me winning this award.
Now I hear that UGA is your next destination. What made you pick the Bulldogs?
Yes, sir. There's a lot of things that stood out to me, but Coach Smart was one of the main focal points. His leadership, the way he runs his program, and the people that he brings with him. So it's a lot of fun. I look forward to it. But I want to finish business at Buford High School.
Now, speaking of that, you guys got a big game against Mill Creek, and I think the young man that won the award on the defensive side, you're going to see him. How exciting is it for you to have this kind of big game coming up right after you won this award?
Yeah, it's big time. We know it's at stake. We just got to do our job. It'll be a lot of fun, but we'll prepare for the game. It's only Tuesday now, so just got to keep preparing and get ready for them.
One last question I always ask guys here. Usually the schools have some type of thing that they have the guys do off campus, whether it be to help the elderly or whether get back to little kids. What kinds of things you like to do when you're not playing football?
I always like hang out with my family. I like cutting hair, and just being around my teammates is a lot of stuff I like to do. But I would say the main thing is my family.
All right, so you got the style of the haircut there, young man. Well, listen, good luck to you in the game next week. And how can people follow you on social media?
You follow my Instagram, it's my first and last name, or you follow my Twitter, the same first and last name.
Perfect. All right, do you have your hardware here? Do your mom and dad have it?
My mom and parents got
There you
that.
go.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, as I mentioned, the number 2 Mill Creek team was actually going to play them and did upset them that Friday. And their star linebacker, a guy who's been recruited very, very heavily, I think he's already committed to North Alabama. We had a chance to speak to him as well.
All right, guys, as you know, the Touchdown Club of Atlanta gives an award for Back of the Week, but also Defensive Player of the Week. He's going to introduce himself to you right now.
I'm Josh England, Mill Creek linebacker.
What does it mean to you, man? I just asked the quarterback who won the award. So many great players from the state of Georgia and even around the country have won this award. What does it mean to you to win it this week?
It means a lot. I mean, getting recognized for my performance. Just also I want to thank God for just letting me perform, and my teammates and my team as well.
You know, guys, that always makes the preacher happy. He said, thank God. Amen. Listen, one more thing. What made you pick out North Alabama as your school of choice?
Just going somewhere where I want to be wanted, like where I really want to be there, not just somewhere that I want to be, but where I'm wanted there. So I just know I'm going to be able to play and be able to perform there as well.
Good stuff. You mentioned the Lord, so I know that most schools have something that they normally have the young athletes do, give to the homeless, take care of the little kids. What are some of the things you do when you're not playing football that you like in terms of giving back?
We're actually doing a food fight this week for our shelter down the street from our school. So we're going to be raising food, going to give away 20 pounds a person, try to go each teammate 20 pounds of canned food and stuff like that to give back to our community.
That's good stuff. All right, how can people follow you on social media?
It's Josh England with 2 N's on Twitter and Instagram.
Good stuff.
Hey guys, that was it. Got a chance to speak to the young high schoolers, and it's always good to see these young men, what they're doing in the community as well as on the football field. Well, guys, we're going to take a break, and then when they come back with some big-time guests, you know how we do it. Got to keep it locked right here in the Real Talk Sports Show. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere. We appreciate you. Thank you, and thank you.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
Hey guys, we're back here again. You're watching and listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. And again, we thank God for all those of you who have tuned in to check us out, including especially those of you who watch us on the replay. All right, guys, you know, we always like to bring to you the good things that are going on in the community around the world of sports. And so much going on. So we want to bring that on to you. And also, we want to bring back to the stage the one and only. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a two-time Super Bowl winner. And he's an all-around good guy. Mr. Tyrone Poole is back in the building. Sir, welcome back.
How you doing, Jonathan? Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. What's happening, Jonathan? What's going on, man?
What's up, sir? We got a great guest that's going to join us today. He's going to talk to us about a huge fundraiser. And I think some of the guys that are going to be involved in this fundraiser are guys that you know. He is nationally known as one of the best marketers in the country. And he comes to us here from the state of Maryland. Mr. Walter Kirkland, welcome to our show, sir.
Hey, man. Appreciate you, Jonathan. How you doing, Tyrone?
How you doing, Mr. Kirkland?
Hey, man. I'm living the dream, man. Appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yes, sir, man. So I know you have a big-time event coming up. Before we bring you on, I'm going to flash it up here. He's got a big-time golf tournament, guys. You'll see that there for the 100 Black Men of America. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about that and some of the things that they're doing here this upcoming weekend, coming next weekend, actually.
This weekend coming up, yeah. We actually got Doug Williams, Tyrone. We got, you know these names. We have Jerome Bettis. We have, let's see, Dominique Wilkins from the basketball arena. We have, who else do we have? We have Ricky Sanders, the Super Bowl champion, played with Doug Williams. Vernon Maxwell, you know Vernon Maxwell, played with the Houston Rockets. And Kevin Willis, to name a few, and Mel Blount. You probably don't remember him before your time, Tyrone. He was the curtain, the steel curtain. You remember him?
Everybody remember Mel Blount. Mel Blount.
Sir.
He was the reason why we can't get physical with the receivers no more.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell it.
Yeah. So we're doing this for HBCUs. We're going to give $50,000, Jonathan, to HBCUs across the country. Morehouse. Yeah, it's huge, bro. We do it every year. This is the third year. I'm honored to do this. I've been doing these the last 10 years across the country, and dear to my heart, I'm the founding president of 100 Black Men of Prince George's County, Maryland, and I'm on the National Health and Wellness Board. So one of our components is golf and physicality. So I'm excited about being a part of this journey as it relates to this golf event this weekend in Atlanta. So, Jonathan, I really appreciate the opportunity to showcase some of these celebrities. We kick it off actually on Sunday, and I think, Jonathan, you're going to come on through. There's the VIP reception. It's going to be at the Studio Cigar Lounge in Fairborn, Georgia. Looking forward to give a tribute. And our chairman, by the way, Tommy Deutsch, died of pancreatic cancer at 72. God rest his soul. So we're doing this tribute to his scholarship fund. But we kick it off on Sunday from 1 to 6 with the HBCU roundtable led by Doug Williams and myself. And then the tournament is on Monday at Flat Creek Country Club in Peachtree City, Georgia, where we're going to have a red carpet, VIP, paparazzi, massages, the whole nine, music, food, celebrities. It's going to be a great day for HBCUs and 100 Black Men of America.
Listen, now we're excited to hear that. Again, it's such a great cause, and Tyrone is, obviously being an HBCU grad and has done games for ESPN3. Tyrone, what does it mean to you to have see guys like this kind of making moves to continue to bring not only exposure but money to the HBCUs?
Well, it's always good. It's always good. Like Walter doing things. There are traditional things that we can do to bring funding into our HBCUs, and then there's also we got to keep up with the innovative ways to keep funding going. So I'm just thankful that Walter has continued to, and all the organizations of 100 Black Men are continuing to lay down the foundation that all that come after with the innovative ideas can build on, because as the old saying goes, you cannot forget where you come from. So what Walter is doing, and 50,000, and this is a third year, so I'm already doing the numbers, right? You guys have already brought in 150K, which is very, very powerful. And again, I appreciate what you're doing, Walter. Yes, sir. I have a question. Tommy, he means a lot to everybody. If you don't mind, you want to share a couple of pointers, things that Tommy may have help you with, because I'm a firm believer that we're all teachers and we're all students. At some point, we learn from somebody else and somebody learns from us. So we're only as good as the teacher. The student is only as good as the teacher, and the teacher is only as good as the experience that the teacher has been exposed to. So you're a great teacher yourself, but also being a student. What did Tommy teach you that helped propel you and undergird you and just make you say, you know what, this is the reason why?
Tyrone, good question. We have a saying at the 100 Black Men: what you see, Tyrone, is what you'll be. What you see is what you'll be. And Tommy Deutsch was a man that led from the front. He was a man that had 6 companies, who raised over $70 million for our organization. We have a working capital right now of about $6 million in our coffers. Just a great human being that I'd be with Tommy planning this golf event. He says, let me just call Chris Tucker right now. He get on the phone, call Chris Tucker. Let me call Shaquille O'Neal. That's how he rolled. He's a man that, took action, not just all this BS. He gets it done, and he did it for the kids. And he had passion for life, passion for children, passion for adults. He was a mentor to a lot of people. And when I thought about joining 100 Black Men some 12 years ago, I had other organizations. Tommy Deutsch spoke to me and said, Walter, we need you. I live in the DC area to be a part of this organization. So again, what you see is what you be, Tyrone. We use that as a symbolism. As you look at our mission and vision statement, the mission of 100 Black Men of America is to improve the quality of life within our communities, to enhance educational, economic opportunities for all African Americans. So that's what we try to drive with this organization. And Tommy exuded that every single day, Tyrone and Jonathan.
There's no doubt. I had a chance to, on multiple occasions, interact with Tommy over the years. Got a chance to meet him. I want to say probably about, I guess I've been in Atlanta for about 21 years. I think I met him about maybe year 3 or 4. People telling me, hey, you got to meet this guy. And just, watching him go about his business here in Atlanta. And the thing about it was, here's the guys you mentioned that basically he had almost everybody on speed dial, but you'd never know it by interacting with him.
Yes.
He never, right. He never came across with that kind of, he was the guy who took care of his business, but he never kind of came across as, hey, I'm too big to talk to you. And that was the thing I really admired, because like I said, I just kind of knew the town, and he was asking me, hey, what do you do? What are you trying to do? How can we help you? So yeah, he's going to be sorely missed, but his legacy goes on with, guys like yourself, Tyrone, and some of the other, men of color, and just men, period, that are, going about their business.
There's something about that, Tyrone and Jonathan, when you see 5,000 Black men with suits, Tyrone, walking into a facility for our national meeting, and white folks and other nationalities saying, man, there's something going on here. And the brothers are clean, they're sharp, Jonathan, as you smile, they're educated, they're doctors, they're lawyers, and we're grinding. We're not having fashion shows. We're not having parties, getting our swerve on. We're matriculating, educating Black youth from 8 to 18 with intellectual challenges, Shark Tanks, African-American history challenges. It's just something to see. And when I saw that just kind of blew me out the water, by the way. So,
yeah, I know.
There's no doubt.
When we had the Hall of Fame event, everybody reminiscing and saying one thing about Tommy. Now, he loved his people.
My God! Yes, Tyrone. Yes.
So,
and Jonathan, I see a typo. I don't know if there's a way to fix that. I put an extra 0. So if there's a way to fix that, I see it. I just noticed I put an extra 0. I got 1,000. It's 100 men. So
100 men. Yeah. So I'll get my my reading glasses. They're somewhere in places unknown. Right. So I hope I can.
You viewers out there, it's not 1,000 men. We do have 10,000 men, but it's 100 Black men. and I made
100 black men.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No doubt.
Okay.
And they're a legend. Anybody that's been around, they know it's a legendary group and operation. And it as much as I will say this as an aside, and if Tommy was here, I mentioned to him very briefly when this first happened. He said, "Look, man," he said, "it's all about moving up to the next level." But the only kind of drawback to the Celebration Bowl, which is now kind of the de facto Black College Football Championship, is that it effectively eliminated the Atlanta Sports Classic, which, as you know, that was kind of the #1 fundraiser for the 100 black men here in Atlanta. It was a huge weekend event. As you mentioned, they had Shark Tanks, they had competitions, tech competitions. It was just really a phenomenal weekend. And although the Celebration Bowl does a good job, now don't get me wrong, really that Atlanta Sports Classic that they had, the Atlanta Classic, I should say, was just, for me, year in and year out, was legendary. And what a lot of people don't know is that when they were building Mercedes-Benz Stadium, when you used to drive by, they had 3 or 4 anchor events or teams that were there. The Falcons were one.
Okay.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Atlanta United, and right next to it was the logo for the Atlanta Classic.
What I wanted to pivot to, Tyrone, Doug Williams, if we may, he came to me 3 years ago and said, "Hey, Walter, I want to do something for black men." And we were going to do something for prostate cancer, Tyrone. We're going to do something for like men's health. I said, "You know what, Doug? Let's do the 100 black men." He says, "That's a great idea, Walter." And then from that point, we pivoted from doing this. This is our 3rd year. We did it in Maryland the first 2 years, to a point now where we have 100 plus golfers, and we've raised probably over $200,000 for HBCU. So Tyrone, he's just a great human being. Along with how old I am, Tyrone, I played with Art Monk. Art Monk was a wide receiver. I used to beat him. I'm a Hall of Fame in track and field, so I used to beat him in track. But he was a much better football player than I was. I was a 2nd string quarterback, and Art was a 6'3", wide receiver with good hands. At White Plains High School, I went to Mount Vernon High School in New York, money earned in Mount Vernon, and then went to Rutgers. But from all of that, I stayed in contact with him. I went to the Hall of Fame to Dow Green. Dow Green's son invited me up there to their reception this year. I don't know if you were there. And I got a chance to hang out with Dow Green, and Art Monk was there. It was just great to see. They're like family. And over the years, we stayed in contact. And Art just moved to Orlando, Florida, as you probably know.
Yeah. Man, you made me think, Walter. My track and field really is my favorite sport, man.
Get out of here, Tyrone. Really?
I choose between football and track. If they both paid the same amount, track would be my sport, man.
Come on, dog.
And I love it, man. I'm like, it's like you get out. It's like track and field. It's like the old saying, you get out of it what you put into it.
Yes, sir. And you can't. And Tyrone, you can't. If you're not in shape, I ran the 400 meters. I don't know what you ran. I ran 46 point. And with that last straightaway, Tyrone, if you ain't in shape, you selling peanuts, dog.
Hey, man, my daughter runs at 400. She runs at 400. She's in college now. She runs at 400, 200. Yeah. So I know all about that.
You must have been a sprinter. Would you run 100?
Yeah, the 100, 200. I was 100, 200, but still, I was such, mostly all sprinters. If you run the 100, 200, you're going to be on that 4x14. Right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coach, what he would do as well to help strengthen my 200, he would have me every once in a while. I look at the list and where I'm going, Walt. I'm running the 400 today. But you're going to strengthen up your 200. I'm like, yes, I don't need my 200 that strong.
I'm telling you, dog, it's crazy. And hey, Tyrone, you're going to crack up. I ran the Senior Olympics last year at 64. I got 5th place. I ran 59 at 64
Come
years
on
old.
Now.
Wow.
What?
So, Jonathan, if you can run below your age, come on, man.
Oh, that's strong right there, bro. That's strong right there. Listen, we got a guy. We got guys. One of our big big contributors here. He's been a fan of the show for a long time. He runs a off the chain hamburger joint. We're gonna go up there and get some food with him. We call him Sullivan. He saw Tyrone. He said, Tyrone. he ain't seen Tyrone in 2 weeks. He had to go off. Yeah, man. We in the house, bro. We appreciate you, man. We're trying to, as you know, kind of bring you some up-to-date stuff and what's going on in and around the community. We appreciate all those of you who've locked in today and have shared the broadcast. We appreciate you so much for doing that. All right, so we want to pop it up on the screen one more time. It's a big weekend coming up. It starts off with first the VIP reception. So if you like a nice stogie or cigar, you can come on down, and it is at the lounge there, and I'll have Walter give you the exact information down on Fairburn, beautiful area down on the south side here. And of course, the tournament itself will also be played that next day on Monday. Beautiful place. So break it down for us, Walter.
Oh, yeah. So come on out on Sunday. That's the 22nd from 1 to 6. We'll have food, live entertainment. We're also going to have a HBCU roundtable with some of the Georgia Tech students, moderated by myself with Doug Williams and other celebrities, talking about NIL. And I know Tyrone knows about that. NIL as relates to HBCUs and why it's so important. And then with Deion Sanders, with his son driving a Maybach, Jonathan, I'm sure you have an opinion about that, Jonathan. How do we control that, Tyrone? And where should there be some balances? So that's really great discussion there. Food, live entertainment. That's on Sunday to kick off the whole scenario. Jonathan's going to join us. And then on Monday at Flat Creek Country Club, a nice course. If you guys play, Tyrone, it's a nice course, even though it's 3 par nines. They're really nice, 9-hole course. We kick it off with a paparazzi, step and repeat, massages, music, DJ, tea times at 10 o'clock. If you guys want to register, be a sponsor, I'm going to do it old school, Tyrone. I want you to call me at 240-535-3346. That's 240-535-3346. I'm old school from the Maryland area, Walter Kirkland. We still need some players and golfers and sponsors. We got the likes of Wells Fargo, Women's Health Initiative, Nissan will have 2 hole-in-ones. It's just going to be a fanfare of like mentees, college students, music. It's not even a golf event, Jonathan. It's bringing good people together, making those connections, Tyrone. That's what this is about. It's tight. He puts his shades on. He's ready to go, man.
I got to be rolling like this, baby. This is how we do it. We can go out there, hit the sun and the fun, my friend. Look, you guys are talking track. I got to get this up here. So we got another guy, H.C. Hardy. They're going to actually be one of our future sponsors. He's with D&K, Men's Sioux City. And so they're going to be looking to join us. Here's what he said about running track. He said, man, he's got that hamstring at the 200. They used to hurt him. Used to hurt him. Yes, look here, Walter, listen, before you go, I got to do this. He's been hanging out in the green room. But, since you talk about the D.C. area, I'm going to bring a guy on that he is the embedded beat writer for AJC for the Atlanta Falcons. Nice. He is a award-winning sports writer. He is an Esquire par excellence. He's the one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter. How are you, man, in the building? What's up, D-Led?
Hey, Reverend, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show. Hello to Walter and Tyrone. How y'all doing today?
Good to see you, brother.
All right.
Good, man.
Yes, D-Led, when he was talking about being from the D.C. area, I said, no, I got to bring you on now, bro. Yes, sir. I got to bring the Howard man in the building right now. Well, D-Led, I don't know if you heard, but Walter is bringing a tremendous fundraising tournament, golf tournament here. He does them around the country to try to actually raise funds, but raising funds for HBCUs. Pretty cool that he's now bringing it to the ATL.
ATL, and Orlando, we're going to work with some black. If you can see this on my bag here, this is a black-owned company, Renegade, young man. He's only 29 years old. Mm-hmm. He's actually making custom balls and bags. He's one of our vendors. We also have I think it's called, is it Twitch or 20? It's the biggest black-owned watch vendor will be there. We have the biggest vodka-owned black entrepreneur will be there. It's really a collaboration of minorities in HBCUs in a different light. In Orlando, it's not just golf. It's the really connecting people like you and Jonathan and Tyrone together, finding a way to kind of collab on different projects. So that when I do these events, it's not even the golf. It's really the collaboration of these efforts, bringing everybody together like the other people do.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have the Howard Alumni University president on my speed dial, so we'll get her involved and make sure that Howard folks come out and support and know what's going on.
Please, yeah, we're going to raise $50,000
up right here for you.
Right.
Here's the information right here. VIP reception. Walter, I got on the screen, so break it down for people. How and where.
Yeah, Sunday at the Cigar Studio Lounge in Fairborn, Georgia. The
Frat
address
Brothers
is
spot.
yep, it's right there on the schedule there. It's a VIP reception from 1 to 6. You'll have Doug Williams, Dominique Wilkins, and a slew of music, food, roundtables, and HBCUs. We'd love to see you out there at this great lounge. And then on Monday, we have the tournament with tribute to Tommy Deutsch, which many of you know. He died of pancreatic cancer at 72. We're having a great celebrity event there with about 10 to 8 celebrities hanging out for a great cause. Tea time's at 10 o'clock at this great facility there in Georgia.
Walter, if you want to, you can hang out. I'm gonna do a quick little reset because we got to talk Falcons football because I think the people they're about to burn the place down. All right, guys, keep it locked right here for more. We'll be back on more of the Real Talk Sports Show. And oh man, D. Orlando Ledbetter talking about them daggone Falcons. We'll be right back. All right, D-Led. I don't even know where to start, brother. I'm at the game. I'm thinking, okay, they're going to do what they've been doing previously. They're going to make this big fourth quarter comeback. And then all of a sudden, Desmond Ridder goes from the guy I knew to what on earth? What happened in the second half, D-Led? Lord have mercy.
Yeah, well, Reverend, it all started when they decided to wear them throwback uniforms. Falcons should never wear those throwback uniforms. They were horrible. From 1966, they didn't have a back-to-back winning seasons until 2008 or 9. Because you can't explain what happened. You know, the coach who is organized, smart, hasn't made a mistake in 35 games. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to get his team on and off the field and how to do timeouts. So, no, they shouldn't have worn the throwback uniforms. That's the best I got.
It's the curse right there. So, Todd asked you the question, D-Led. He says, Rizzo looting the locker room.
No. Next question.
That's what I thought. Okay, Sully just says D-Led is in the building. That is correct. Well, I mean, here, I guess the question I have, actually, Tyrone, I don't know if you got a chance to watch the game, but if you did, do you have any question for D-Led about what you saw on Sunday?
I'll be honest with you, I did not watch the game.
You ain't missed nothing, bro. You good. Yeah, you good. Yeah, so I guess, D-Led, the thing that was kind of odd, a couple of things that struck me kind of odd. Number one, Falcons did what they always do. They said, okay, we're down. The defense kind of kept them in the game, and all of a sudden the offense finally starts to click, and we see them get the score to get them within one score. And then the first out of the game, Arthur Smith decided to go for a 2-point conversion at home with 12 minutes left. So, and of course they don't get it. And to me, that slows some of the momentum. I'm missing something? Why did he go for the 2-point conversion?
Yeah, Reverend, you missed it, and everybody over 50 missed it because it was an analytic-based decision. The analytics for modern-day football to say that whenever you're close in the fourth quarter, you go for 2. So they run some algorithm math thing. It's out there. You can Google it. But, yeah, it's not traditional football. Take the points. Don't chase the points. It's some mathematical thing they decided to follow, and they followed it. They followed it before in Los Angeles and in against Tampa Bay one time. So yeah, it's a analytics thing.
I guess maybe I'm slow on the mark or something, but I mean, I know he said that, but to me, it just seemed like it took a lot of momentum away because, you know, you make the score. Now you say, look, we're just one score away. We have plenty of time in the game. And then when you miss a 2-point conversion, even after the penalty, I'm like, okay, well, now you got to go for the 2-point conversion again if you do score a touchdown. I don't understand. Let's go to social media. Our man Todd, you know, he's about to throw some shades. Let me put my shades on. He said, Mr. Blank. He said, Mr. Black. Mr. Blank in the 92.9 interview said he was not happy after that fourth quarter. And then I guess he got a question for you, D-Led. He said, if Coach Smith doesn't win more than 7 games, is he gone?
No, he's not gone. They're not firing him 3 years into a 4-year contract.
Yeah. All right. So defensively, I told people that was one of the good news about the game. What do you think about this defense? First time I've really seen the Falcons defense consistently play well. We've only talking 6 games. Looks like they're in the top 10 in both categories. Did I get that right?
Yeah, I got my numbers right here, Reverend. The defense is top 4 overall in yards, 11th rushing, 4th against the pass. But the problem is they're 19th in points. You want to be in the top 16 in the top half of the league, and they keep making mistakes, Reverend. The 24-yard screen to the Chiefs should have never happened. The 18-yard touchdown pass to Dalton Schultz against the Texans should have never happened. Sam Laporta's open for 45 yards against Detroit. You know, they're playing good defense. But Tyrone knows when you have those mental lapses and breakdowns and they hit you for big plays, all that good defense goes out the window. And that's what Calais Campbell told me. I'm not making that up from my experience. Calais told me that yesterday in the locker room, that we got to stop these 5 plays a game that are costing us wins. He thinks they could have won all these games. So they got to take care of those breakdowns and mental lapses, and but keep the ball throughout.
You think about the running attack. Are they abandoning the run too quick, or teams have kind of caught on to them? What do you think the problem is where they're not running with the same efficiency as before?
Yeah, that's still in the top 10, so that's not a real problem, Reverend. Teams are loading the box up, okay? But now they've thrown for 300 yards in the last 2 games, so people can't just come all the way up. They got to at least think that the Falcons can hit them over the top. They signed Van Jefferson, Sean Jefferson's son, last week. They got him in a trade from the Rams, and they went right to him last week. They threw him a bomb. And the timing wasn't there. I wasn't surprised they didn't hit it because they just been practicing like 2 times, probably throwing each other 10 passes. So we'll see how that works. But the running game will open back up because people can't drop 8, 9 players in the box against them if they know Sean Jefferson's going to run past them.
When do you think we're going to get at least partially complete game out of this offense? Because, I mean, I think they're averaging, what did you say, about 16 points a game or something like that?
Yeah, 16.5, number 29th in the league. So, we need points. You know, all these yards are great. Yeah, you have 400 yards against the Commanders, but, you didn't score. You threw 3 interceptions. It's the turnovers. 7 turnovers in the last 3 games. Can't turn the ball over. Got to punch it in the end zone. You're not even getting field goals. It might be okay if you were getting field goals out of it, but you're not even getting that. Yeah. So, that's the head coach. That's on the head coach. He's the offensive coordinator too. So tell the coach to tell the offensive coordinator to step it up.
Step it up. So, Walter, I know you must have been pretty pleased that your Commanders, now partially owned by Magic Johnson, rolled in here to Atlanta and escaped with a victory.
Yeah, Jonathan, I was lucky enough to go to the press conference and had a chance to meet Magic. You talk about a different person, and he tore him a new butt. I'm going to say that word last week when they got killed, but it's a different energy in the DMV, Orlando. Different perspective in terms of motivation. I still they should change that coaching piece. I like the offensive coach. I think Ben-Ami is going to get it done, but you got a young quarterback. I love their wide receiver. I know their wide receiver very well. So they got some potential, but they got a lot of work to do. But I was happy, and Magic's going to change this thing around. He's very personable, and the owner is right here in Maryland, and his mom lives right in Chevy Chase, Maryland. So they're going to put money into the current facility, and it's exciting times here in the Washington, D.C. area.
D-Led, they're once again killing. I'm going to switch you over, guys. See, we got you off of one screen, so we'll get you back on the other one. Here we go. Mm-hmm. So we can get D-Led back. There he is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so H.C. Hardy said if Shannon Sharp was on the show, he said, I think he would say you can only drive so far on a flat tire until you got to change it. And he's – I mean, what do you think about this idea? I mean, my feeling was that Ritter is a guy that one reason why I liked him was because he seemed to handle himself well against big-time opponents like Alabama, like Georgia. Put him under a lot of pressure in the bowl games. He seemed not to do what he did Sunday. turn the ball over. Now that he is becoming a turnover problem and near turnover, they have a new stat now, the near interceptions. Do you think we will see anytime soon the young man who came, ironically, from the Commanders?
Reverend, you got to look around the league. You can't really throw the quarterback into the water right now. It's only one. Stafford's the only old school guy left. He's the only starting quarterback that has 13 years or more in the league. Look, everybody's got a bad quarterback. Look at Jalen Hurts. He was almost MVP last year, throwing interceptions at the end of games. Justin Herbert's supposed to be this great quarterback. Dan Quinn, outflanked him yesterday on Monday night. So we're going through a transition at the quarterback position around the league. And, if you can develop one, you're going to be in pretty good shape. So, no, they're not going to just go to Taylor Heineke unless, this thing goes all the way sideways. And I'm talking about, 3-7, 3-8. And, at that point, yeah, you're going to need a new quarterback. But they think they can win and play with him. And you probably can if you could run the ball and play good defense and don't turn it over. That's the formula. Coach Arthur Smith comes from the Washington coaching tree. Joe Gibbs gave him his first job. I mean, might have had something to do with FedEx Field.
Tell a story.
And Jonathan, Tyler, he's inconsistent. He's not.
He's not going to win.
He's not going to win big games. I hate to say it. I like him as a person, Tyrone, but he's not a franchise quarterback.
No, he's not. He's a stopgap veteran guy that can get you through a couple games.
Gutsy, but he's not
real tough
not
kid.
the guy.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Go to social media one more time. Our H.E. Hardy says, although he's an analyst, I think that Matt Schaub would be a better play caller than Franklin's OC, simply because he had the experience playing under the Shanahan offense in Houston. And Todd is already talking about trying to draft another quarterback.
Yeah, well, I've been following the quarterback since Shane Rattler was the top quarterback, supposedly in the draft 4 years ago. And he's still at South Carolina right now.
Surely right, sir.
Yeah, and Jalen was at Oklahoma, leaving Alabama. And the top quarterbacks this year is supposed to be Caleb Williams, the kid that paints his fingernails, and Bo Nix, who's been in college for 9 years. We're going through a change at the quarterback position. So,
hey, Orlando, what do you think about the young kid with the Panthers, man? He doesn't have big size. What's the guy's name?
Bryce Young. He's too little. He's not going to last. Man. Yeah, he's not going to last. But they're not playing traditional football anymore where everybody's got to drop back 5 and 7 step drops. They're playing a lot of spread and run stuff, RPOs. So you got to kind of look to, what your quarterback can do and build your offense around them that way.
Yeah. And Tyrone, I guess in the NFL it's different than college, right? I mean, the guys are bigger. I don't know if they're faster, but from a quarterback perspective, maybe he could play that. Bryce could do that in college, but maybe not in the NFL.
Yeah, 100, Walter. The thing about the pros in college, you may have maybe on defense, maybe 2, at the most 3 guys that can really turn their game around. Same thing on offense, but when you get into the pros, all 11 guys. Right. So that's the difference.
They wrapped and strapped.
Yeah, all of them can hunt. Going hunting.
All right, so we're looking at this team here. So we're not going to change the quarterback. D-Led, my favorite thing is that I like to see the quarterback. I don't want him to imitate Michael Vick. I don't want him to imitate Lamar Jackson. But I do think if you're going to continue to run those RBOs and those fake bootlegs, I think that the Green Bay game kind of gave me what I was looking for, somewhere between 6 to 10 carries for Ritter to at least make that contained guy think, hey, you know what? If I don't look at him, he might turn the corner and get some yards. I don't need a lot of yards. I just need, like the Green Bay game, a couple of first downs, and if you're in the red zone, a touchdown.
Well, he's gonna probably have to run against the Bucks because they won't be able to block him. But he did have the he's got 2 RPO touchdowns running the ball, Reverend. But
Right,
I
my
don't
point.
think it's
You're right.
part of the offense in the middle part of the field, but definitely it's part of the offense in the red zone.
No doubt. Let's go to social media one more time here. Todd, you know he's about to sign off, so he got one. He said one more question. He's okay saying Coach Smith will not pull Redder onto the out of the playoff picture.
That's the way I see it. And they it's gonna be hard for him to be out of the playoff picture in this NFC South. So he's gonna get a chance to make mistakes. They're gonna try to fix him. He's got a tough job this week trying to figure out Todd Bowles' defense. So I don't know what the big deal is with Ridder. You got to run the ball, play defense. You knew what it was. They built everything up around him, and now don't try to play like you have Peyton Manning back there. So you know what it is. You acting like he wasn't going to struggle. It's his 10th game in the league. Matt Ryan had the same number of interceptions after his first 10 games too. So I don't know what all this outrage is about. I think it's just social media and somebody's got to holler about something nowadays. I mean, what did you think? He was a first-time starting quarterback. Was you going to expect him 400 yards and 5 touchdowns every week? Be
Not me.
realistic here.
And I add
Go ahead, Tyrone.
I add this right here. You know what I also think makes it hard for Ridder? Usually, at some point your rookie quarterback comes in and you play him at some point in the season early, right? 2 things that I see that is really, you can't really fault Ridder. You can, but you can't. They didn't put him in, maybe for whatever reasons. And then the other thing is Smith, the head coach. Last year was his rookie year. Everybody now has a grasp on what his offense he's trying to do. So now you're putting Ridder kind of like in a no-win situation. Instead of people studying Ridder for his second year, they're like, okay, we already know what Arthur Smith is going to do. So this is what he's going to do with Ridder. So, these defensive coordinators, man, they are smart. They don't get paid for nothing, right? And they also have a voice. You see how they got rid of that RPO to a point where, hey, we can't stop this RPO if the quarterback going to continue to fake the ball all the way into the line of scrimmage. So these guys are smart, but I think that is playing into Ridder's downside is that people understand more and more Arthur Smith's offense. So now you got Ridder coming in trying to learn the offense, and they now are kind of like condensing the playbook for him. So really, I think, at this point, you do have to give Ridder an opportunity as much as you can, and much as people don't like it, you got to give him an opportunity because Ridder's battling against people, defensive coordinators who have studied not only Arthur Smith when he was in Tennessee, but his rookie year, this is what he's going to do with the Falcons as a head coach. His second year, he's going to repeat some of the things he did in his first year. Now you got Ridder coming to his first year, kind of like, you're giving me a gun with rubber blanks in it, So I do think they got to give him Ridder more, they got to let the thing just serve itself, man. And hopefully next year we'll see who Ridder really is.
We done messed Todd up. He said, good night, yo. I'm heading to the liquor store. He threw. Yeah, he's had enough. All right. So question here, as you guys know, I don't know if it's breaking news, but a former Falcon, a guy that certainly is going to head to both the Falcons Ring of Honor and the Hall of Fame. A guy here made some great excitement in this city. Julio Jones is now evidently a Philadelphia Eagle. So the question is, how do you guys feel about Julio? Do you think he got anything left in the tank to offer the Eagles right now? D-Lev, what do you think?
He hasn't done nothing since 2018, Reverend. So, man, he make that one play, then he's out for the next 4 weeks, man. It happened here, it happened in Tennessee, it happened in Tampa. So, but I do stay up with his people. And I was like, hey, is Julio ready to retire? And they said, no, he wants to keep playing. And so, but he wants to go to Contender. So that's what he did. God, hopefully he's got enough left in the tank to where he can get out there and not, and can play up to, the player he used to be. Charlie Joyner, HBCU grad, Grambling grad. He did it for a long, long time. But those guys have been far and few in between. So good luck to Julio, and we'll see if he can, revert and have go back to his youth here in Philly.
Hey, Jonathan, I got a hard stop, so I want to thank you for the time. Thank you,
Yes,
Tyrone, Orlando, and Jonathan. I guess I'll see you Sunday.
Yep, good Lord willing, you sure will. Yes, sir.
And this is exciting. Again, for you viewers and listeners, we'll have the Celebrity Weekend starting at the Cigar Studio Lounge in Fairborn, Georgia, on Sunday from 1 to 6 with Doug Williams. There it is. Thank you, Jonathan. Tribute to Tommy Deutsch, 100 Black Men of America, from 1 to 6 at the Studio Cigar Lounge in Fairborn. So come on through, get your swerve on, get some food, entertainment. And then on Monday, we have this great HBCU tournament with the 100 Black Men of America with Doug Williams, Ricky Sanders, Dominique Wilkins, the Human Highlight Reel, along with other notable Matt Blount, the Steel Curtain. We have Vernon Maxwell and a slew of other retired Atlanta Falcons coming out, and Hawks. So coming out on Monday at the Flat Creek Country Club. Tea time's at 10 o'clock. Again, contact me, Walter Kirkland. I got a crazy number, 240-535-3346, 240-535-3346. Look forward to see you guys. Thank you, Jonathan. You got the greatest show in Atlanta, and I really appreciate the time to spend with you guys, chopping it up with Tyrone and also Orlando.
All right,
Walter, appreciate you, man. God bless, and we'll see you soon.
All right. See you this weekend. Take care, guys.
All right.
All right, we'll take a quick little break here to give a big shout out to our sponsors. We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a minute. Don't go anywhere, please. Thank you, and thank you.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our #1 priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Hey, sports fans, tune in for live high school football Friday, 7:30 p.m. on RealTalkSports.net. Check out your favorite Metro Atlanta teams as they do battle on the gridiron. It's your high school game of the week, live streaming free Friday nights on RealTalkSports.net. For more sports coverage and great sports talk, catch the Real Talk Sports Show Tuesdays, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Twitch. Brought to you by Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, a business giving back to their community. Give them a call at 678-364-3979 or check them out online at allenvigilford.net.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. We want to get your feedback about my participations in the show, so please leave comments. So stay tuned, the Real Talk Sports Show is coming up.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
Trying to bring in some virtual help here, and of course, my good buddy Jay Latrina doing the voiceover. As you guys notice, we do not have the lovely Queen with us tonight. She is handling some family matters back home. We were hoping that she would join us, but she is handling that, and so we hope and pray that all will be well with her, and we look forward to having her back on the show next week. All right, guys, we wrap it up here. Falcons are the Falcons, but let's just shift for a second here. D-Led, who you think right now are the top 4 teams in the NFL in your mind?
Well, I thought Philly's up there. Kansas City is playing well. I thought San Francisco was. I don't know what happened in Cleveland, but those are my 3, and definitely San Francisco and Philly in the NFC. I'm shaky on Dallas. Good defense though. And then in the AFC, Kansas City and Buffalo and the Bengals, and you know, just a bunch of other good teams out there. Not anything great right now. A lot of teams still trying to find their way.
Tyrone, who do you like?
You know, I watched the 49ers game, and the kicker actually had an opportunity to win it, and could have kept San Francisco undefeated. And as a player, there are times when you get ugly wins. We call it an ugly win. You know, it's not going to be perfect, but the thing is, did you give yourself an opportunity to win? And San Francisco did give themselves an opportunity to win, even though it was an ugly game. My sleeper are the Detroit Lions. You know, I think Coach Campbell is really getting those guys to buy into it. I believe even Coach Campbell got the Ford family beginning to say, hey, maybe we need to get some money at this team. Maybe we can do something. They're not just a write-off. So, but Detroit is my sleeper. But, you know, the 49ers and, you know, the Dolphins, you know, I kind of like the Dolphins offense. You know, they are explosive, but, you know, it's always defense, I believe, wins championships. Offense sells tickets. But yeah, those are my teams. I like San Francisco still number one. I think they, you know, got too much talent. They get everybody healthy. I think they'll do a great job. Brock Purdy, again, he just continued to show people that he, you know, he is real. Kansas City, I think Big Red, you know, he's going to reinvent himself, because I think Father Time is catching up with Big Red. So, you know, it happens to all the great coaches and great players. You know, if you don't adjust and you know, you got to let your players be your players. But Kansas City, Miami, and like I said, Detroit, you know, look out for them Lions, man.
Yeah, I think I like the Lions. They are surprising. If you look at them right now, took a look at their stats. These guys have the way you can always kind of take a look how dominant the team is and look at the spread between what they've allowed and what they have scored. And they are the only team that's close to that 100-point mark. They've scored 184 points this year, leading NFC. They've only surrendered 87. And they're coming off only giving up 6 to the Falcons, and they only gave up 6 last week as well. So, yeah, I mean, Detroit is, yeah, they're nothing nice. And then I'm surprised you guys didn't mention Miami right away, because they have an offensive juggernaut. These guys are rolling 224 points. They're close to 40 points a game. If they keep this up, they're going to be considered one of the great offensive of all time. But the question is obviously is health, you know, because the young running back who was, I mean, I think Archain was averaging D-Led, I think 11 yards a pop, you know, something crazy like that. He's going to be out. So we're going to see what will happen here with them, you know, not having that running attack there, because he has been, yeah, we talk here about Bijan Robinson, but that kid Archain, man, he was just lighting them up, bro.
Yeah, hey Rev, I gotta bounce too. I gotta run into the city and get back and be ready for practice in the morning.
Yes, sir.
So, appreciate you all having me on tonight, and take care.
Appreciate you, D-Led.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank
you, sir. D. Orlando Ledbetter in the building. Appreciate him for jumping in and joining with us today. I know his schedule is very, very tight. Let's go back to social media here. And H.C. Hardy said, do you think the Falcons will acquire or trade some players for the deadline? What do you think, Tyrone? You think the Falcons might add?
Yeah, I got to do look at history. What has history told the fans? How many teams do a lot of trading in season and deadline? So I don't, you know, I think the trend gonna stay the same as it's been, you know, every year, unless it's a player that is so impactful. Because again, you trade for a player, you got to bring this guy in. It's gonna take him several weeks just to learn the system. So it depends on the position. You know, if it's a defensive lineman, a defensive end, then really you just bring him in and just tell him to rush the quarterback. You know, but if it's somebody in the secondary, you know, linebackers, wide receivers, you know, it takes longer. So I think that's why you don't see a lot of trading happening in the NFL, because it does take a lot. I don't care how long a guy's been playing in the league. It takes a lot to learn somebody else's system.
No doubt. A lot of guys, of course, are clamoring for some more defense, even though our defense is playing very, very well. One of the guys whose name is out there is they were talking a lot about edge rusher Frank Clark, about him might being available. Not sure if that's true or not. So we shall see, man. At the end of the day, I don't know. I don't think they need to add anything. I think they just need to get some better play calling and be more consistent and mistake free, because at the end of the day, that game against Washington did everything that they could to give them that win. And we throw 3 interceptions in the second half, and you throw one of them in the red zone to end the game. Well, what else do you need? They had opportunities to win this ball game, multiple opportunities. Like I say again, they cut it to a 1-score game with 12 minutes to go, and they had the ball 3 times in that fourth quarter, and they got ugats. So yeah. I don't know if they need anything except with better execution and better play calling.
I know you talk about the play calling, but this is what I believe. I believe that at the end of the day, regardless of the play call, it's the players that carry it out. It's like, what are you trying to get accomplished? That's number one. You want to move the ball down the field. You want to score. You don't want to kick field goals. I remember Steve Young. I heard Steve Young say this. He said that every time they kicked a field goal, he felt like they were that closer to losing. Because you kick a field goal, a team scores a touchdown, they've already trumped your field goal. So again, I just think, guys just got to execute. Yeah, I think that's it. If it was play calling, just my opinion, go back to way back in the day, Vince Lombardi. Everybody knew the sweep was coming. They knew the sweep was coming because they executed it. You can't stop it. So at the end of the day, how much is it the play calling and how much is it the players executing?
No question. I think it was both. And matter of fact, here's what it looked like at the end of the game. I call this the beginning of the end. Let's watch this play. Falcons have the ball at the 2-yard line, looking to potentially tie it up. And this is what happens. And this is what happens next. Come on, man. You're down there at the 2-yard line. You got a good running attack. All you have to do now, you have plenty of time left on the clock, is punch the ball in. Instead, you get a procedural penalty, which now pushes you back to the 7. And the next play, you do that. So, yeah, execution and play calling. In that case, obviously, execution is more than a problem as well. H.E. Hardy says players should execute. When the coach loses the team, it shows on the field. I don't know, Tyrone, does it look like he's losing the team? Is it that bad?
I couldn't tell you whether coach is losing the team, but I will say this. On that play you just showed, again.
I'll replay it one more time. I'll replay it again so people can see it. Here. And now watch the play.
Let's go!
All right, good. What did you see? Break it down for us on that film.
Well, all I'll say is, we talk about Ritter, and he still.
You muted yourself, Tyrone. Unmute. Yep, hit it again. Nope, you're still muted. Hit it again. There you go. Okay, you're open. Go ahead. Your volume's still way down. I don't know what's happening. I'm still getting very little volume. I'm not sure what the. Here, I'm going to try to reboot real quick. All right, guys, we'll be back with the closing moments of the show. Don't go nowhere. Hang tight. We're going to reboot so we get the final comments from Tyrone. We get final marks from the Hall of Famers, Tyrone Poole. Hopefully his mic is ready to go. Go ahead, Tyrone, unmute, and let's do it. Looks like you're still muted, sir.
I'm not muted on my.
Yes, you're good now, bro. Go ahead. Yep, final comment, please. Go ahead. We got you.
No, I was just saying on that play you showed, it goes to show maturity, veteran, but I'm looking at that play. If I'm Ritter, you never try to force the ball down there in the red zone, throw the ball into the stands. And then I go back and I look at the play development itself. It's like the Falcons had two players. They had the receivers on the left side of the offense come in and then go back out away from the area that the quarterback was rolling out to. So now Ritter only got two players to throw the ball to. Usually if the quarterback is rolling to a particular side, they got what they call progression reads. You got your number one read, number two read, and then that's a quarterback. That's why when you see most quarterbacks in the pocket, they go here, here, here. Then the backside, then they drop it off the outlet. But when you look at that route that the Falcons ran, it's like the right side went to the right, the left went to the left, you left Ritter there with only two receivers to throw the ball to. What happened to that guy dragging across the field, which is the third outlet? They only had two outlets to that side. So, but again, the execution, even though that was in my mind, not a very good route running pattern for that play call, still execution. Ritter, throw the ball away, throw it into the stands. Don't try to lob it, don't try to force it. And sometimes, let me say this too, what quarterbacks are doing, they're reading that defensive player. Brett Favre started this, that throwing the ball when the defensive player is not looking. So if I see a defensive player, I'm a quarterback, and I see the back of his helmet, I'm throwing it to that receiver, even though that guy's covered, because the defensive guy can't see the ball coming. But in this case, he probably saw the defensive player helmet, but then the defensive player turned around in time to be able to get back in position, and then boom, I got the interception. So, there's a lot of things that be happening out there on that field.
I tell you, man, it was unfortunately sad to see, but hopefully they'll be able to get that thing turned around. All right, Tyrone, you know how we do it. We want to make sure people know about our co-host and guests before they sign off. So, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
I appreciate everybody checking in with Jonathan's show. Continue to support him. You can follow me and check out what I got going, Tyrone Poole 38, all social media. And check out the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org. Help us out. And appreciate you. We appreciate you. So thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Tyrone, appreciate you, man. And look forward to seeing you next week. God bless. All right, guys, we got to wrap this up. But, before I go, I got to always encourage you. I do each and every week. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, I'm going to tell you, please, ma'am, please, sir, get to know him today. Nobody loves you like Jesus. He's the one that died for your sins, but he rose from the dead. So good news. If you repent of your sins and you believe that he rose from the dead, two great things will happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adoptive child of God with all the rights therein. That means you now can go to God like a heavenly parent, asking for anything that you need or desire, and according to his will, give it to you. And when you leave here, you go to that wonderful, spectacular, beautiful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. The buildings are adorned with the most spectacular jewels ever created, and the streets are paved with a gold that's so pure it's translucent. But most of all, you get a chance to meet God, Jesus Christ, all the people of love, face to face, man. And you never get old, you never die, never any kind of pain. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I mentioned that are in heaven will not be in hell. So it's bad. It stinks, bad people everywhere. It's fiery, it's tormenting. But most of all, you cut off from God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time that we get back together again, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and God bless. See you.